Hello, my name is Reverend Bonnie Rose, and I'm your host for today's episode of Our Ventura TV. Today, I'm speaking with Eric Rigney, who sailed around the globe in a sailboat. And today we're talking about lessons learned from the sea. So welcome, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege as always.
It's our pleasure. Thanks. So, Eric, you sailed around the world. Can you tell us a little bit about why you did that?
Why I did it was when I was younger, I had the opportunity to sail with my uncle. We crossed the ocean a few times from Hawaii, went to Ventura and Hawaii and back when I was 14. And then 16 and 17, we sailed to French Polynesia and back. I was gone for about 20 months on that one. So it was in my blood. And when I was 14, I told myself I wanted to sail around the world with my family someday. So it took 40 years, but
Well, so it sounds like you made a dream come true, right?
absolutely, yeah. And fortunately, I found a partner in life who was willing to join me on that adventure. So my wife, Leslie, bought into the dream as well. And so we carried it together for 20 plus years before we actually untied the dock line.
Wow. It's quite a commitment there. So, can you say a little bit about like it must, I'm assuming that it would be challenging to leave your life behind and live on a boat for however many months. And what was the hardest part about choosing to leave?
Some of the harder things are, well, first of all, there's a little bit of concern of we quit really good jobs. I was vice president at Sony Pictures. She was an opera singer with LA Opera. We had worked really hard to get to that point, and we were going to cut all that and say goodbye to that, not knowing what was going to happen. Pretty good idea that we wouldn't be coming back to that.
Right.
We have to recreate our lives afterwards. That was a little bit of the unknown, as well as we had to pare down our belongings. So we said goodbye to a lot of different things. It was upsetting for Leslie to see these beautiful books being sold for 25 cents. Things like that, yard sales, a lot of dropping things off, but paring down. At the same time, you started to realize that possessions possess you. And as you were letting go of these things, you felt a little bit of sadness, but also some relief. So and my suggestion is take a picture of the things that you like and then get rid of it. So, have a photo album of your possessions.
Yeah.
So you miss them and go look at them again. I'll remember that. But, you don't really need to have all that stuff. And so and pulling the kids out of school wasn't difficult. I had complete confidence that this adventure would shape them in more positive ways than were they to stay in a traditional structure of middle school, high school. I had complete because of my experience, my own personal experience. I felt it was going to be ultimately better off for them.
Yeah.
And so that was, we didn't know what was going to happen. And then my mother-in-law was really against the whole idea. So there's always some family members are cheerleaders and others are not as on board. So
Fear leaders, we call them sometimes. Yeah. So, aside from that, though, it sounds like from when I've spoken with you offline that you had some wonderful lessons that you learned from sailing around the world. So, can you share at least one of those lessons with us today for our viewers?
yeah, when you go and when you endeavor to do something like this, it's really, really it's all encompassing. There's a lot of planning, years of planning, year reading and years of reading, and then getting everything together and trying to make sure that you minimize issues and try to time the weather and all these different things that are at play. And your family's at stake. Well, sailing on our first major crossing from Puerto Vallarta to Galapagos, it's a long sail, and I had my uncle on board. He was around 84 at the time, and our boys were 11 and 13 at the time. And we started to have some problems. The weather wasn't as what I had hoped it was going to be. And so we burning through a lot of fuel, and it was very uncomfortable with the rocking motion, and the winds were very convoluted along with the seas. So And then I started having failures, equipment failures. The propane wasn't burning right. I had an issue with that. Also, I was burning through a lot of fuel, and then I realized I couldn't charge my batteries. My charging system was down, and I needed my batteries for many things: keep our lights on, our navigation going, our communication. And if I don't have that, then I really don't know what I'm going to do. So I have a lot of alternatives, but they are not easy. It's celestial navigation. It's a real challenge. So I was concerned that I might not make it to the Galapagos, and I might have to sail to from there, sail 25 days, which I wasn't prepared to do, all the way to the Marquesas. I mean, we could have done it, but it would have been a last resort. And I felt that I was like 4 days away from Galapagos, but running out of fuel and not powering. And so when I was at my wit's end and I had no more ideas, I just thought, oh, I'll go have a talk with God, whatever that is. I just, I hear people, just when you ask and you shall receive kind of thing, and open yourself up, and when you need it, God will be there kind of thing. And so for me, it's just kind of a God is just more of a universal concept, just sort of an energy, a force, intelligent. And so I went there not knowing what to do. And on a boat, the metal tubing that you see in the bow and in the aft part, the bow would be called a bow pulpit. And then the stern would be a stern pulpit. Well, when it's at the mast, it's a mast pulpit. So ironically, I went to the pulpit, the mast pulpit, to have my conversation, hopefully to have some sort of divine awareness or something from a divine force. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was desperate. So they say there's no atheist in a foxhole, right? So I went there and I didn't know what to do. I just thought to myself, look, I need help. I really have done everything I can do, and I'm at my wit's end. Come on, give me something. I'm open. I don't know how this works. I didn't expect any bushes to burn all of a sudden. I just kind of didn't know what to expect. So I just kept on opening up and just being patient, opening, being patient. And then when I was losing my patience, I would say, be patient. We don't know how this works. Just open, 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 and see what happens. And then the sail started to luff, means flapping. And then another sail started to luff, which meant that the boat was going, the winds were changing. And I thought, I don't have time for this. I need this, I need some divine intervention here, some wisdom coming down. So I have to ignore that. And then it kept doing that. And then I just really relaxed. And then it came to me, I can sheet that sail in, I can sheet that other one in, and I can do this. And then what dawned on me was I can I can do what I need to do. I have to stop being upset about what's not happening and learn to deal with what is happening. And I have to sail the boat with the wind that I have, not the wind that I want. So that wound up being the lesson, was sail the wind that you have, not the wind that you want. And so I knew that what the thought that came into my mind was, whatever needs to be done is within your capability.
Mm.
So just do it. And it might not be convenient, might be at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then again at 6 o'clock, and it could be on and on like this. And you might have to change tack and move the sails and close down the boat for the rain and try to get that engine that power going. Just keep doing it. There are a lot of little steps. Just keep doing all of them, as many as you can,
Yeah.
and you'll get there. And we did it. We got there. When I got there, I had about 5 hours worth of fuel left. But we did, anchor, and we made it to Galapagos. And so that's the lesson: sail the wind that you have, not the wind that you want. And I
Sail,
carry that with me
yeah,
throughout.
yeah. So sail the wind that you have, not the wind that you want. And I guess for the viewers, that means kind of work with what is versus fantasizing about what you don't have or what you wish you had. Just work with what is. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. It's not about, because people sometimes feel like, well, I do believe in manifestation and manifesting your things, but at some point, you have to deal with what is, and don't get upset. The weather isn't personal. The waves aren't personal. This isn't personal. This is, you are in a situation. Do your best to deal with it. Small steps, whatever you can do. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
keep going. And so just do with what you got. So
what you got.
that was the big lesson.
And
Yeah.
sounds like you received the what you needed in the time and you found the skills within you to do it. Which brings me to my point now. We are almost out of time. That went really fast, Eric. So if people if people want to learn more about sailing around the world or what you learned, how can they get in touch with you?
My email is my name, Eric Rigney 88 at gmail.com. That would be the best way to get a hold of me. But don't get mad if it takes me a while to get to the email because
Well, yeah, we won't get mad. We'll work with what we have. Okay. Okay.
that was the
So
email that you have, not
that's
the
right.
email.
That's right. All right, Eric. Well, it's been such a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining us. And to our viewers, I just want to say thank you for watching. And I am Reverend Bonnie Rose. This is Our Ventura TV. And until next time, be well. Thank you so much.